I often look online to see if I can find some cheap hardware so I can build another cheap gaming PC. Just a little hobby of mine. And I always see i7-920s listed for cheap, $30 plus shipping, sometimes even less. The only thing I can see is a bottleneck for the i7-920 is it only support PCI Express 2.0. But there's a ton of threads online that claims there might only be 1% performance difference between PCI Express 2.0 and 3.0, even for graphics cards like Titan and GTX 980 Ti. I don't own a Titan or a 980 Ti, but I do have an i7-920 and an i7-4820k, so let me compare their gaming performance on those two CPUs. I used 4 different graphic cards to compare the CPUs. The benchmark I ran was Unigine Valley Benchmark. Here are the 4 GPUs I used for the benchmark. GTX 560 Ti, the GTX 750 Ti, and the GTX 680, and that's the 4GB version. And the most powerful card I got was the GTX 780. And then I ran a SLI configuration with 2 GTX 560 Ti's. On the Valley benchmark, they all came up pretty close, within margin of error I would say, even the SLI configuration, except for GTX 780. There's quite a bit difference. So that's the graphics card I'm gonna focus on and do some mod testing. I ran 2 pre-made benchmarks, that was Just Cause 2 demo and Bioshock Infinite, and then I ran 2 games, Evolve and Counter-Strike Global Offensive. When I was testing Evolve, I took the same map and the same objectives, and then I ran the same path on the map for about 40 seconds. And for Counter-Strike Global Offensive, I ran up in the corner on Dust 2 near T-spawn and looked at the burning car, and saw what my max frames per second were. And these are the results. As you can see, they're pretty close, but there is a difference. I think it's the chipset and not the PCI Express 2.0. But if you look at it percent-wise, you can see Just Cause 2 demo and Valley benchmark is where the biggest difference is. And Bioshock, there's about 2.5%, Evolve 1%, and Counter-Strike Global Offensive is about 3.5% as well. Like I said before, I don't think it's the CPU that is the bottleneck or the PCI Express 2.0. I think it's the chipset and the way the motherboard is built up. This is an almost 5 years old chipset. And as you can see, the CPU never reached over 60% utilization. So the CPU isn't really working that hard to run the game. So, is the i7-920 a bottleneck? I don't think so. I just think the motherboard can't use it all for gaming. So that's the problem. Is it a bad CPU for gaming? I don't think so. I think it's a great CPU for gaming. It's cheap, and if you can find a motherboard and some cheap RAM, you got yourself a pretty beefy gaming PC. And I guess you can run streams as well, cause you still got 40% for streaming, you know? So, if you can, pick it up.
Jack it up.